Hello everyone. It's hard for you to see this where it is, but I did take a picture beforehand and I'll share that in the video. I've had requests for how I decide and collect items for a junk journal. Everybody's going to be different, okay? And what I do doesn't mean you have to do this. Just take what I'm doing and apply it to your own situation. I have a plethora of paper. I have a plethora of rubber stamps and other things. And I've got some really good friends that give me things. So I'm really very fortunate. Where I live, I have access to great products. And some of this stuff I've had for years and years and years. And some things I picked up, last week. So it just kind of goes to whatever's going on at the moment. So in this basket right here, what I do is I decide on a theme and then I start adding things to a pile. And sometimes that pile gets unruly, so then I'll put it in a basket or a box just so it kind of contains it a little bit. And that's kind of what I suggest for other people. If you are thinking of a theme that you want to make for your junk journal, start collecting those things. So I'm going to show you what I've got. I'm going to push the basket away and just pull things out. So this is going to be a mermaid themed junk journal. I bought these rubber stamps a while back because I loved this image and it came with the die and it's a mermaid. So I know I want to use her possibly in the journal. I don't know if these were given to me or if I bought them, but they were 99 cents. I don't remember how I got them, but I got them. And they're nautical in nature. They have the sea star in, they have lobster and that kind of stuff. I may not use these, but I have them. I know I did buy these. These are napkins that have some coral and seashells. They were $2.49 at Tuesday Morning. I occasionally will grab other stamps, like this stamp that's of a map. I just thought it was kind of neat. I may or may not use it, but I got it. I bought some cheesecloth at Hobby Lobby. I used my 40% off coupon. I live right at 1.5 miles from a Hobby Lobby now. It's really close. If I wasn't so lazy, I could walk there. So I go frequently. And I think this is normally like $6 for the really huge package. And I don't use very much, but this will look like netting in my junk journal. I may not use this, but I have this Tim Holtz die of the world that might look neat as a tuck spot. I don't know. I just put it in here because it goes with my theme. At Dollar Tree, they sell these mini writing tablets. They're 3.5 by 5 inches, and there's a bunch in there. There's 5 tablets for $1, and green and blue. That kind of reminds me of ocean, sea colors. I have shown in some of my other journals where I took these little note cards and I stamp on top of them. There's something that I picked up years ago on sale for a whole box of, I don't know, it was either 250 or something of these. So I've got a bunch of these, so I've been trying to use them up a little as possible as I can. I thought it would be neat for this junk journal if I did something kind of cool. Stories say that mermaids like shiny objects. So this is a candy wrapper. Bedray chocolates are chocolates that we get here made in Oklahoma by the Cherokee Nation Indian tribe, and they're delicious. And I saved the wrappers because they're a shiny color, and I thought they might look kind of neat if I did a whole page and decoupage those down. I have washi tape that I have picked up from friends, purchased, whatnot. One of them is a true mermaid theme, so it has mermaids on it and let's see, always be a mermaid type things. And this one looks like the scales. This one has shells on it. So I try to choose a few washi tapes. I may not use them all, but if I get them out and I put them on my desk while I'm working on my pages, I'm more apt to use them than if I leave them in the drawer. Now this is a letterhead that I put in my spray box. I talk about this a lot. This is junk to most people because the letterhead is out of date. It no longer is valid. So I just spray it with Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. So I thought that was a pretty color, and I'll use that. I have envelopes, another business that my family used to own and they sold. Well, they had all these printed envelopes left over and they didn't have a use for them. You could probably put a label over them. Well, I'm using them in my junk journals to put things. And you could use envelopes that have gone through the mail as well. And I've showed videos on that as well. I'll grab fabric. So here's some scraps of fabric left over from quilting projects. And then I happened to pick up at Hobby Lobby, for $1.79 a piece of what I call nautical fabric. Isn't that gorgeous with the ships on there and the maps? And I thought this would be beautiful for a cover. And there's enough to do 2 covers in here. I have another mermaid themed stamp. I have dictionary paper that I tore out, and it is of the M's, and I think one of them says mermaid on it, so I'm trying to keep them. And then I started folding where they're going to be tuck spots, and I'll add washi tape to these. I have a new jelly plate. A jelly plate is a surface that you can apply mediums to, and then you put paper on and lift it off and you get a pattern. And so this is using acrylic paint and the Brutus Monroe stencil to make this design. This is using bubble wrap and acrylic paint. And I thought the colors were really pretty, and they're 5x7 in size. And I used the old letterhead on my pages. Let's see what else I got here. I've got, I may not use them, but I have this Uncharted. It's 80 sheets of 20 designs for each. And I think this is cardstock. Yeah, it's cardstock. And I got it for half price. It was $8.99, so I got it for half price. But look at all these great maps type things. Let's see. Here is an actual map that's from somewhere that somebody gave me. I don't even know what state or country. Let's see. This looks like Iowa, maybe? Somewhere up there, or Indiana. This is a scrap left over from another project that I may use, but I've saved it. In one of my Happy Mails I have received, I won a prize off of a blog, and inside there was these really cute sea-themed stamps. Aren't they darling? They're just tiny, tiny stamps, but they're perfect for adding just a little touch to a journal page. So more stamps. A while back, I've showed this stamp set before. It was in a UK magazine that you get stamps, and basically all it is the magazine shows you how to use this and gives you a couple other ideas. It's like $14, and you get the stamp set and the magazine. Maybe it's less than that, but anyhow, it's not super expensive considering how many stamps you get. And a lot of times if you buy just the stamps here in the United States, they're $25, $30 for this many. I have some more stamps and stickers. So these are some little stickers I picked up for 60 cents. These are stamps I got at Michael's. So another just left over from a paper pack. And then this sticker set is unicorns and mermaids. I may not use them, but I have them. These are some really cool stickers that I picked up at Dollar Tree. And I just love that they change. I forgot the name of these, but they change. I got these little goldfish for 90 cents. So it's a fish, ocean, mermaid, why not? What else do I got in here? I have, oh, I may not use it, but it's pretty. This is from an old calendar from 2006. So I may cut off that part, use part of the image, use half of the image, something like that. This is one of those desk calendars. It has the dates down here and a little notepad. What I've done in the past is either folded this in half or I've cut it and then mounted to another page. I've got these little mini craft sacks that were marked down to 90 cents from Hobby Lobby. So they had seahorse and lobster and seashells. Just kind of neat images. I've printed off the internet some stained glass images that are pretty. My brother does stained glass, and so I always look at it, and I will print stuff and I'll take it to him so he can make windows out of them. Then I have the whole kit from Calico Collage. It's called Mermaid Tail in here. And then I have Summer Paradise, a couple of sheets in here that were left over from another project, but it has a few mermaids in it, and I like the colors, so I may or may not use all that. But Mermaid Tail, Summer Paradise, and then I've also used from the Enchanted set. Here's some more of the Summer Paradise pieces. So I've got all these really cool, pretty papers. I have a laser printer. I have a very nice, expensive laser printer. It was like $3,500, okay? I'm not going to give you the model of it because you don't want this printer for this kind of stuff. We bought it for something else. It paid for itself in the first month with the jobs that my husband did with it. And as a reward, I get to use it to print my prints on it. He just had to order more toner for it, and it wasn't cheap. But I just love how these images turned out on the laser printed paper. Everybody comments when they see them in person because they're shiny, they feel good, they're vivid, they're just beautiful. So we have lots of these. Now, if you don't have this kit, you don't have access to a printer, you can order this kit from Calico Collage. If you don't have a printer, usually coffee shops in your area, for example, Staples, and there's a couple of online places, you can go in, download from Calico Collage, upload to Staples, and they will print the pages for you. I do it on plain copy paper. When I print on my own at home, I print some elements on cardstock. So when it is a thing that has a tag, this is very heavy cardstock because that's what I have. I buy it by the case. When I do the pages, I do it on copy paper and I print one side, and then I will go back to my other printer and I'll print lines on the other side. What else I got here? Scraps of cardstock from projects. Oh, here's some of the cards that I stamped before. And that's just black and white stamping, and I don't have to color it, but it's a neat look to them. I did pick up a couple of sheets of scrapbook paper just because I like the shells and I like the water. And that's from Hobby Lobby, so I may or may not use that, but I have it. And then I've got some pages out of an old book. I have some 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. This one's called French Riviera, but it has all kinds of nautical things inside of it. And I thought I might use some of it. It is cardstock. I don't usually use a lot of cardstock in my journals because it's so heavy. These are handmade papers. This is like a mulberry paper. This one's a thinner mulberry paper. Here's another mulberry paper. This one has pressed flowers as well as that. And this one. I have a coloring book that I picked up for $1. Sometimes I use the images out of those. I might use the dragon because dragons, that kind of looks like a water dragon. I get composition notebooks, and what I have found is if you go to the dead center, they're stitched. So if you'll take a pair of scissors or a seam ripper and cut those threads, you can take the whole page out, and now I can have a page going in the right direction in my journal for very little money, because these usually at the most I've paid is $1, and usually I get them after school starts and they mark them down to like 25 cents a piece. This is the same concept. It is a composition book that has graph paper in it. And again, I just found the center and it was stitched and I pulled the stitching out. Now, what else I'll use is chipboard. I have access to chipboard because I saved it when I worked for a company. In their IT department, we did pen-fed printer paper. And in each box, the top and the bottom of that box, to protect the paper, was some chipboard. And I've saved it. And it's not super heavy. I don't necessarily have to have a super thick cover for my junk journals. This is junk, so that's why I'm using this. I will occasionally take apart an old book. So, for example, here's an old book that I have cut the insides out of, and I will sometimes use these. This particular journal, when you're done with the pages, they're approximately 5 by 7, and this is way bigger than 5 by 7, and it's harder to come by 5 by 7, although most Reader's Digest books fit. So this is where I start. I have these supplies, I put them in a basket, and then I begin my process. So let's talk a little bit about my process that I do. A lot of people start with their cover and then go to their insides. Some people go from their insides and then work on their cover. I traditionally work on the insides and then I work on the cover once the insides are complete. And my insides are all dictated around my theme, especially if I'm using a digital kit. I trim the papers down to the size of the digital kit, and then after that, all my pages are this size. If I'm not working with a digital kit, for example, I've got a kit of paper from Recollections. I'll get that. So this is another concept of getting prepared. This kit is from Recollections. It comes with some printed burlap, and it comes with 16 total pages. So this one has some really cool, it's cardstock, and I got it because it was on sale, and I like the pictures. So I will look at this, and if particular this one, I would just call this a junk journal, not necessarily any particular theme. This one could be a travel theme because of all these images here. I will look at the paper and decide, what do I want size-wise? Well, see this image here that says Fly to the Caribbean by Clipper? I will look at this and see how big that is. So if I wanted to get a good page with this on it, I would need to make my page 8 inches tall. So I will go in and cut this page 8 inches tall, and all my pages will be 8 inches tall from there. This piece up here at the top that I cut off, I'll take this and add it to another sheet of paper with washi tape so they're stacked from top to bottom. There'll be a seam right here, and that would become my 8 inches again. So I try to utilize everything. Like these postcards, I'll cut out, and those will come journaling cards in the journal. That's just a cool paper. And I'll add the composition notebook, the graph paper, that kind of stuff. This is burlap. Here is canvas. Here is an ivory cardstock. And then here is a craft color cardstock that's on the back. So you don't have to stick with one particular thing. You don't have to have digital prints. You don't have to buy pad paper. Just decide on the size that you want it to be, whether it's dictated by the cover or dictated by the images inside, and that's where you'll begin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the next step. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to do this in multi-video. I will show you how I go through and prep all the pages and get them all ready. so you got an idea from start to finish how to make a journal. I'll be back.